Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 134 and... my mustache is growing back, give me a second. There it is, freshly clean shaven. And yeah, I've been reading your comments down in the comment section. You have the same opinions as me. It is horrifying, absolutely horrifying. So 7 episodes to go and then the mustache will be back in all of its glory. Anyway, in today's Hermitcraft episode, what we are doing is we're starting things off in this area here. Reason being, I've been checking out the other hermits' nether hubs, right? The other hermits have some pretty cool nether hubs. Now this is definitely a really, really awesome one. I'm a big fan of this. And this is just, I mean, it's just totally ridiculous. I forget how cool this place looks until I come over here and then I'm reminded. It is, I mean, that is a serious build. So, I mean, long story short, I feel like we're letting the side down a little bit. Because don't get me wrong, I mean, I like our tunnel that we have going on here. I'm liking all of the colours that we're using with the dark prismarine and the sea lanterns. I mean, it's a clear representation of my base. But this is not in any way special, is it? Look at it. I mean, it just looks a bit pants. It just looks a bit pants. We've even got blocks missing. I've got a block missing and fire. Yeah, it's nothing special. We have holes here. This is all wrong anyway. Yeah, I feel like we definitely need to work on this place, and I really want to make a grander, much more spectacular looking nether room. So the first thing I guess we should probably do is, well, I guess we should clear this one out, take out all of the blocks, and then work out how big this design is actually going to be. I really need to learn what potions are. I've just brewed up a bunch of strength potions. How does one make a fire resistance potion? I could have sworn it was that. Oh, it's this. Yeah, that does make some sense. Thankfully, despite my issues with brewing them, I didn't actually require any fire resistance potions just yet, and we have just finished placing in the foundation. So what I thought I'd do is just place in a massive block of blocks underneath where I'm going to be building, so that if I do fall, I'm not going to fall in lava. So this is the area that we're working with. I think it's about 35 blocks across and a certain number of blocks long. I don't really know. You know what? Should it be a tiny bit bigger than this? Maybe a tiny bit bigger. Yeah, that's much better. So I've added 4 blocks on each one of the sides. That's 8 blocks wider in total. And I've also added 4 blocks going out the back here. And now we have a pretty large space to work with. And the nether portal is going to act as our entrance. So it will just be behind the nether portal. Okay, right, let's clear this place out. Which that is now done as well. So we have got an empty space to play with here. The only thing that isn't empty is this chest. Now this is the result of what, maybe 50 episodes? Probably about maybe 50 episodes. I think we built it in episode 20, so episode 70 even, so probably 60 episodes of our passive mob farm working. We've managed to get, what, 3.5 stacks of beef, about 3 stacks of pork. We've done a little bit better on the mutton. No, 3 stacks again. Not the most efficient thing in the planet. Not the most efficient at all. So yeah, who knows what I should do with that. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start working on the border going around the outside here. I think for this we are mainly going to be using prismarine, but the idea for this build is that it's kind of going to be like a tropical paradise, but we can't use water because we're in the nether, so we're going to have to get pretty smart here. Okay, I've come up with a much cooler idea for what I want to do. But unfortunately, it requires this place to be a square, so we're going to have to extend it even further than it currently is. Not by too many blocks, but I think a handful. In fact, yeah, no, it does need to be quite a lot bigger. Yes! I knew that it was a good idea to bring myself a fire-resistant potion, because I just fell in lava. Good. I'm glad that I fell in lava, because that proves that I needed them, and that I'm not totally useless at Minecraft. Did I just hit a pigman? I might be totally useless at Minecraft still. No, I'm still a champion. No, I'm on fire now. Which is totally fine because I've got myself a fire resistance potion. Yes. Right, this place is pretty huge. Okay, so we've got quite a big spot. This is pretty enormous. Okay, so from here, next thing we need to do is I'm going to place in some prismarine, kind of wrapping around like this, going around the outside, and then it's gradually going to roll off into the floor. Now, this is actually going to be quite a difficult thing to do, but I want to have like a smooth transition just sloping in all the way around in sort of a circle, but not quite a circle. And then in the center, we're going to have the actual centerpiece, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Progress update on the build. We have got all of this prismarine going in and dropping down the side. Now, the reason that we're using prismarine is because this is what we're going to be placing the sand on top of. So we're going to have sand going around the outside here. I can't actually remember if I've explained this, but this is going to make like the shoreline that's going to roll off down here, and then this is where our water is going to be. Now, I'm hoping we actually have enough space for this. Oh, wow! Kidding that, we got a ghast head. That's got to be our second one. I think we've got 2 now. And to be honest, look, if we take this off, so look, there's my face currently. Putting the ghast head on, there really isn't that much difference. Oh, all right. So that's that. We have got a full sandy skin going over the top of the prismarine, just filling in the final blocks here, and that is looking, yeah, it's definitely an interesting look. Okay, so from there, what I'm going to do, I feel like it's time to spill the beans on this project. What I thought I'd do is build a kind of small version of my base floating in the center here. So we're going to have the prismarine going around like that, and then the little prismarine corners popping off on each side, and then a little hole in the center, maybe with a tiny guardian farm. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to pull that off, because that will be a bit of a tricky one to build because of scale and things. Now, I don't actually know how big I can build this thing. If I grab myself some prismarine now and start laying out all the foundations and the blocks... Get back! If I start doing that now, I did a great job then of not destroying this sand, but I should probably turn this into not being a ghast spawner. But yeah, as I say, if I start laying out the foundations and trying to work out some measurements, then I'll give you an update in a little bit. One thing that I'd totally forgotten about is these squiggly numbers here. I totally forgot about the fact that I've got these squiggles. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to build those. I mean, I might give it a go. But no, those will be very difficult to build on a small scale. Now, I have to say, I don't know if I'm liking that so much. I can't really see it from any kind of viewable angle, really. Oh, maybe... I think it needs to be 1 block skinnier. Yeah. This is so difficult! This is so difficult. For some reason I thought this would be easy. But that doesn't look like my base at all. Oh, it's actually not big enough. I thought this space was enormous. I thought it was perfect for the size of my base, but it really isn't. Okay, I have made a handful of changes to this design. Let me just try and get rid of this blaze which has spawned down here, who seems to be causing me trouble. Right, okay, so he's gone. So what I've done is I've pushed out the outer diamonds a little bit, and I've placed quartz on top. Now, I have spent so much time building this thing, rebuilding it, coming up with new designs and everything. I don't like that very much. I cannot tell you how many times I've built this and taken it all down, and I still don't like it. That looks pants. That looks so bad. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break for a little while. I'm going to get my head straight and try my best to work out how else I can build this room, because I do want to base it around my base, but I don't think having a full-scale model of my base is actually going to work out. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll drop back, hopefully, with some better ideas. You know what? Instead of trying to build today, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head off on a bit of a sand mission, because right now we don't have any sand in the storage system, and more importantly, we need a ton of sand to be able to have all of the glass to fill in this area. So I'm going to grab myself my ender chest, and I'm going to head off to the desert biome and fill up all of these shulker boxes and also my inventory. Well, we're getting things off to a very good start here, because by the look of things, the last time I was sand mining, I didn't bother to pick up how much sand have I not bothered to pick up here? Let's see. So that's that. Okay, I would say that's pretty much everything. 4 stacks! 4 stacks of sand just left lying around. God, that's lazy. I'm a little bit disappointed because this would have made the perfect time lapse, and I haven't done a time lapse in probably the past 4 or 5 episodes. It's not something that's been dropping in particularly because it hasn't really fit the project, which I do apologise for. I haven't ditched the time lapses entirely. They are going to be coming back. Yeah, this would have made a good one. Anyway, aside from that, this is now all done. I have got myself tons upon tons of sand, so I'm going to start chucking this into this system right here. Now, I have to say, I just looked in some of the furnaces. I think most of them have around about 12 bits of coal in there, which means that each furnace is capable of doing 80, I think. I mean, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm going to fill in this double chest here with sand, and then that will output to both of these chests, and that should hopefully give us enough glass to actually fill in this area. I don't know how much it's actually going to need. After one full AFK overnight session, we have got all of the glass done and dusted, and I do believe all of these furnaces have completely run out of coal, so we're going to have to go out and gather up some coal at some point. But we've got one full inventory there, and also another full inventory over there. So I'm going to chuck this in shulker boxes, and then we can transport it over to where we need to be. The next thing that we need to do is get ourselves a whole bunch of this light blue dye, so that we can have all of the light blue glass ready to create our ocean. So of course we have come over to this crazy little seed and blue dye farm that we can use over in the swamp biome. I love this little thing. It's made my life so much easier. Now that we've done that, the next thing I need to do is gather up a whole ton of gravel so that we can have plenty of concrete, because I thought for the bottom of our ocean we could use light blue concrete. So that will be down at the bottom there, and then it will have stacks upon stacks of stained glass above it. Lots of resource gathering today. So that's the concrete all made up. Now we just have to fill in this slightly smaller space on the inside here. Now I have a bunch of stacks, but you know what? I don't actually know if this is quite going to be enough. Thankfully it was, and also this place is looking really great. I did have a handful of ghast explosions, and this is definitely very susceptible to ghasts, so that's something to be wary of. But I'm liking the style that we have so far. This is like a very tropical blue color. It feels like we're in... yeah, it's very, very tropical. Okay, this is a good start. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start layering up the glass on top of it. So we are going to have... well, that's going to be about 5 layers of glass. Now, I don't know. Should I leave a gap? I think what I'll do is I'll experiment in a corner with having a gap in between, so it'll only be 3 layers, and we'll see how that looks. And then if it doesn't look that good, then we'll fill it all in with glass. Having messed around with it, actually 3 layers works better than having 5 layers. If you have 5 layers, you don't kind of get this compounded cloudiness that you end up with when you have a situation like this happening. So that's good. That means that we're using less glass and it actually looks better. So now it's time to fill in the entire space. So in this super fast time-lapse chat, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone for showing lots of support on the YouTube channel lately. It has been a pretty incredible month for the Mumbo Jumbo YouTube channel. We hit 2 million subscribers really early on in the start of the year, and we're already at 2,130,000. So we've already got 130,000 subscribers within, I think, probably the space of about 2 months. And last week we had a video hit 1 million views within 1 week, which is completely bonkers. I mean, it's all going incredibly well, and I just want to say a massive thank you for all of the support that you've been showing. I've been reading through all the comments, I've been looking at all of the stats for the videos, like the likes and everything, and everyone seems to be enjoying it, which is great. I'm glad that you're enjoying what I'm doing, and hopefully I can continue to produce things that you enjoy watching for the foreseeable future. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. Let's get back onto the Hermitcraft server. And there we have it. We now have ourselves our glass ocean. This thing is now all fully completed. So as you can see, it is looking kind of watery. I would have liked to have a little bit more depth, maybe another layer. But unfortunately, yeah, we didn't have enough space. Too much lava, and this is about as far down as we could go. But anyway, what I've started on now is the actual base itself. Now, I have to say, I have recorded a couple clips here, but I actually recorded them from my second account, like the Timelapse account, so you were getting like a third-person perspective of me talking about these things. But anyway, what I did is I put in a template of my base around the top, and I like the way that it looks, so what I've decided to do is just have one segment of my base, just one of the diamonds, and that's going to be the central point of the room. And you can see it's a kind of small scale model. So we have the sea lanterns, going around the top, we have the glass on this side here, and then just to stop it from looking like two pancakes stacked on top of one another, out the back we have got the prismarine there, and it just makes it look a little bit more solid, and I would say that looks great. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool. Let's just make sure it's all lined up and everything. So this is pretty nice. Now, I'm not 100% certain I'm going to do the squiggle. Maybe I might. I think it could potentially look quite good. But first things first, I have to build this full thing. I think this is looking cool. I mean, we're around about 3/4 of the way done, or not quite 3/4 of the way done. I think it looks good. I do like the way that these sea lanterns are lighting up the floor underneath. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. This has just been... I kind of went into this without too much of a plan, really, which is that's never a good way to go. And there we go. One full base, all fully built up and constructed. Now, I'm going to quickly pop up to the top here and just see what it looks like from above. I imagine it does look quite cool. Yeah, that looks like a small part of my base. That's brilliant. Now, I'm thinking what I might do is almost like a little homage to it. They won't be full width, but I'll just try my best to kind of recreate the shape going around the edge there. But I'm really happy with that. That's ended up looking really cool. No. That is not how my base looks. Okay, so it kind of pops out, then wraps back in. It doesn't come straight out the side. That makes a little bit more sense. Also, I don't think I'm gonna have the sea lanterns. They didn't look so good. Guys, I'll be totally honest, I can't do this. I've been working on this for the best part of an hour, and I have built, destroyed, built, destroyed, built, destroyed this so many times. My mind doesn't seem to work on these small scales. I can build shapes on big scales, but small scales, it just does not happen. I think for now I might take it out, and maybe... Oh, I just don't know. Oh, good. And now Aghast has basically dismantled the entire area anyway. Where are all the holes? Come on. Really? Okay, there's only... Alright, that seemed a lot worse than it was. That thing hit probably around about 5 times. I think for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this project behind. It's looking good so far. It definitely needs some finishing touches, and obviously we'll have to do some work on the walls and all of that area, I guess, in the next episode. But before I go, I want to talk to you about my plan for the next project, which is something that I'm very scared about. I'm extremely scared about, but also really, really excited for. And it's actually one of the main reasons why I've decided to build the Nether Hub, because what I want to do is I'm going to be starting building some things away from the base. Now we've got this project over here. That of course was away from the base, so we'll get a Nether portal set up inside our Nether room to take us straight to the town. Obviously we also have our cobblestone farm, which is somewhere off in this direction. And we'll get this place linked up to the Nether in our Nether Hub as well. So that will be all hooked in. But one thing that I do want to do, and I want to do it as far away from the base as possible, is I want to create a fully automatic wood farm making use of the Wither. Now, this is something that I was actually going to do. For those of you who saw the episode, this is actually something that I was going to do with this cobblestone farm. I wasn't originally going to use TNT. I wonder if we could use a similar setup with wood. It probably wouldn't work quite as well. But that could be interesting. If you compacted it down and pushed it all in, I actually don't see why it wouldn't work. Like, why wouldn't that work? Because then you could push the wood in across to one side. How tall does wood get? I think it's 5 blocks. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. I'll have to have a think about that one, because that could be a fun project to try and design. I'm sure it probably won't be the most efficient thing in the world, but as I say, I want to build a wood farm using the wither, and if we are doing that, then it will have to be miles away from the base. Obviously, if we are going to use some form of TNT setup, then that could work out quite nicely, especially because wither cages could potentially break in 1.13. That's something that I'm definitely going to think about over the next couple of days. I might look in to if I can actually pull that off. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode on the Hermitcraft server. It's been a fun one. It's been a long-winded one, and even though it's been a strange one because we've only built the floor of the Nether Hub, but because of how many times I've had to reconstruct it, it's actually taken a really, really long time to record. So I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and as per usual, standard filming channel stuff. Link will be on the end screen.